You know, the other day I came across a video online. I believe it's a CEO who was being questioned. He was offended by the suggestion that his $1 billion fortunes were handed to him. He went on to say that he earned it, he worked for it, and he earned his fortune. He continued saying that he came from nothing and he worked for everything that he have currently. So he described his nothing. He described that he came from government subsidized housing. When he was growing up, his parents were poor. So they didn't have enough to send him to school. But then he ended up going to school. And then through scholarships and through hard work from his parents. So he ended up working for his fortune and he became very successful. He's the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. So I thought about it. I'm like, he's talking about his came from nothing. But how do people describe their nothing? To my understanding, his nothing, according to what he described on his video, was that he came from a government subsidized housing. So I started thinking deeper. I personally know a lot of people who are praying for such condition that he described as nothing. Even though I'm not minimizing the challenges that comes across in living in government subsidized housing. I've never lived in one myself, but I know friends who have, and I've been spending a lot of time on them. I actually lived very close to one previously here in Canada. But I believe this video is from the US. But nonetheless, they are all pretty much the same conditions. I know people who are dreaming to have the lifestyle of what he described as nothing. But I also know even the people who are dreaming of having the lifestyle of what he described as nothing, which is government subsidies or coming from a poor background here in the United States, there are people who actually will pay everything to have the lifestyle of the people who will also do everything and pay everything to have the lifestyle of what this guy is describing as absolutely nothing. I know people who would not have enough food to eat, but they do have places to stay. I know people who does not have places to stay, but then they envy those who have places to stay. I know people who live in camps, who live in war-torn countries, who will do everything to have the life of what is described in the United States or Canada or other developing countries as nothing. Some people say started from the bottom, now we're up. And this is from my own favorite rapper of all time. That makes me also think about what is their bottom? And how is their bottom rated in other parts of the world? This is not to minimize what they're describing their lifestyle and the challenges that they face growing up or the lifestyle that they used to live, the lack of the things that they wanted. Because a lot of times they're describing low socioeconomic status in the developing world, in Europe or Americas or some part of Asia. So if we talk about places in Africa or some part of Asia or even here in the United States or here in Canada, there are communities like the Latin, or even in the Latin America, there are communities like in the Indian communities here in Canada, or the Native Americans, they will call them. There are these communities that are struggling who will take what people are calling their bottom as their top. So whatever your bottom is, there's somebody envying that bottom as their top. And you can trickle down to where nothing is. Your definition of nothing could be somebody's definition of everything. And that somebody's definition of everything should be somebody else's definition of nothing, or somebody else's definition of everything. So in life, no matter how low you have it, there's somebody lower than you. No matter how high you are, there's somebody higher than you. So that's how it is. So in that case, in this regard for the CEO that I'm talking about, his nothing is absolutely everything for millions and millions of people in the world. To those millions of people, he have everything he needs. Just waking up and to a cozy house, cozy bed, having food on the table. You don't know where it comes from, or even if you know where it comes from, you're able to afford. You never worried about not having enough food to eat. You never worry about electricity, lights going on and off. You never worry about safety, medicine, medication. You never worry about clothes that you're going to wear. You never worry about your kids going hungry. You never worry about your parents being sick and you don't know what to do. You never worry about giving access to education, to healthcare, to medicine, to everything that somebody needs to live. But you're still describing as a bottom, or you're still describing that as nothing. But there are people who would do everything just to have safety. There are people with bombs falling under their heads. There are people in the trenches. There are people in camps, refugee camps. There are people who are homeless, who are on the street. To them, they live in absolutely nothing. There are people who are sick. There are people in their beds. There are people who just the fact that they can move their arm, they can stand up, they can sit down, they can laugh, they can smile, and they can see. To them, that is everything. So the definition of everything and the definition of nothing is relative. It depends on who you are and where you are at. In some condition, your nothing would be the most undesirable lifestyle that you have lived. When you think about your trajectory of success from where you were to where you are now. But there are people who, where you were, they never get to see that. They never get to enjoy that lifestyle. The lifestyle that you describe as nothing, there are people who never get to enjoy that lifestyle because they fight for it, but they never get it. So this whole message is to learn to appreciate. Is to learn to love. Whatever you have, you appreciate it. And this is not to say that to people who are saying they didn't appreciate where they were. I know a lot of people use their background as a motivation for success. And I know a lot of people, when they think about how they succeed and the hurdles that they have to pass through, and they think about how hard it was for them and how easier it is for them now. They use that as motivation. The issue is if you're stuck in an undesirable place and you want to be in a desirable place, you have every tool in your disposal to do so. You must take advantage of it. There are people who are in an undesirable place, but you do not have any tool to deal with or any tool to help them get out of those spaces. Those are the people that we need to find. Those are the people who have everything in their disposal need to find and help them. Imagine you are so down in a hole somewhere, so down low. You fight all your way up, and you get all the way up, you find somebody there who had a ladder, who had everything in their disposal to help you climb up easily without having to go through the struggle that you did. But they never do that. How would you rate that person? How will you look at that person? Or if you are that person, how will you think the other person who you did not help look at you? So let's think as a community. Let's think as one people. Let's help each other. Your nothing is somebody's everything, and your everything is someone's absolutely nothing.